Welcome back to the news. The Petroleum Trade Unions collective says it will continue with its strike action as it did not receive a reasonable solution during talks held this afternoon. The trade unions collective said it did not agree with the request made during the discussions with the secretary to the ministry to call off the strike and take part in a discussion with the president.
The Petroleum Trade Unions collective launched a strike action by halting the distribution of fuel at midnight yesterday in protest against handing over the China Bay oil tanks to India and Hambantota Port oil tanks to China. Long queues were seen at filling stations since the announcement of the strike action last evening, with most of them running out of fuel by this afternoon.
The situation is quite disappointing.
I should say to the government, if they can't handle their country properly,
Yes, we are getting in trouble. We don't have time. We are wasting our time on the road. No fuel. Actually, I don't recommend. I don't accept these kind of things from the government.
They are eating the productivity of the country, no? So what to do now? We are in the queue and we are wasting more than 1 hour.
Been in this line for far too long. It's quite disappointing, honestly, and I'm kind of disappointed about it.
Our correspondent said certain filling stations had restricted the distribution of fuel to vehicles attached to state institutions only. Not a single bowser of fuel has been dispatched from 12 fuel storage facilities. The supply of fuel to aircraft and power plants have also been halted. Up to now, we have not been informed of any discussion of any sort. If people being inconvenienced is hurting the government, it is the government's responsibility to give us proper solutions to these issues and bring an end to our strike action. The Ceylon Electricity Board said practical issues have arisen in unloading 35,000 metric tons of fuel brought for the Keralapitia power plant. The CEB adds that existing fuel could sustain thermal power plants only for a period of 2 days. Despite the trade union action of the Petroleum Corporation workers, filling stations of Lanka IOC continues to distribute fuel. They cannot carry on a fuel strike like that because 20% of the fuel is distributed by Lanka IOC. Also, it is the private businessmen who distribute fuel brought into the country. If they try to drag on a fuel strike, it would be a problem to the government. But I do not think that it would come to that point. There can be no trade union action over government policies. We can talk about their trade union right if needed. How can trade union action be over government policies?